Today, we're rounding out our Diorama series with the final project from Romantic Country's third tale, and it's a good one, so stick around. Hello colorists, welcome to PencilStash, a weekly show all about coloring. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing to get all the new content, and be sure to hit that like button if you're enjoying my videos. Hey there colorists, today we're tackling the third and final diorama project, and this one is a window shopping display. I'm pretty excited about seeing the final product on this one because it's sort of like a multi-plane camera effect, and this is the same type of technique that Disney developed back in the late 1930s to give movement to flat animation cells, so I'm actually really excited to see how this comes out. So the first step is to cut out our pieces as well as these kind of inner window portions. And I am wising up and will not be using scissors for this step like I did last time. I'm pretty sure I would butcher this. So I'm going to use something with a bit more precision. And an X-Acto knife would be perfect for this, but I don't have one. So here's the next best thing. I have a super sharp box cutter and a self-healing cutting mat, which unfortunately doesn't self-heal as well as it used to, but it's all good. So we're going to use this to cut out all of our big shapes and go around all the little details and all these tiny, tiny little corners. And surprisingly, you don't need to use too much pressure for this step, which is good. So I'm going to cut out all of my shapes and I'll be right back. So here's all of my pieces and they're all cut, and I can show you that the idea here behind this multi-plane camera effect. So this one here is the back piece. It's the inside of our shop, so this one will go all the way behind. And then you've got the next level with this ledge full of baskets, so that's sort of that window display level. And then this last one, it's the outside of the window where Elena is standing looking in. And if you hold them about an inch or so apart, you start to get the idea of how cool this effect is going to be. And these are all going to sit inside of the little slots that we're later going to cut out of our floor piece. Next step is coloring. And I've decided to take my time, really take my time with each of these and put in some details that will really make some of these pieces stand out. So that's what I'll really be focusing on today as I take you guys through this. So starting with these wooden cabinet doors, we're going to be placing down a variety of colors, some browns, some light beiges, and putting in our wood grain detail, which might look a little bit cheesy at first. You might think it's cheesy, but trust me, it'll work out. Because then in the end, we're going to blend it out with our blending pencil and it'll soften up all of those lines. Then we're going to put down a few robin's egg blues on this china cabinet and hutch. But I think I want to do something a little bit different with these doors. Again, just to put in a little bit of detail. So I think we're going to use kind of a light gray to put in some vertical lines to simulate the look of this being backed with beadboard. And I picked up this little ruler at my art supply store because sometimes my big clear ruler is just too big. Sometimes you need something a little bit smaller for the detail, so I think this will work just fine. Now we'll give the inside of our shop a hardwood floor, and this is a very, very similar technique to what I did on those cabinet doors. And I've also got a full tutorial on how I draw in hardwood floor, so if you want to check that out in further detail, I'll put a link above in the upper right-hand corner for you. And based on the setup of this diorama, I'm probably doing this for no good reason, because I doubt you'll even be able to see it in the end, but that's okay. You and I will know it's there. And this one, for some reason, I do backwards. Like I did the cabinet doors where I did the color first and then I did the wood grain afterwards, but on the floor, I do it the other way around. I don't know why, I just do it the other way around. Now let's jazz up this tablecloth somehow. I think I'm going to use my No, I don't think I'm going to use my ruler. I'm just going to hand draw in some more of these lines here. So we already have the vertical ones that the artist gave us, but I think I want to put in some horizontal stripes to match these, and we'll just kind of create little squares here. And in the end, I'm hoping that it'll kind of come out sort of like a plaid pattern. So let's just play around and see how this goes. Now this is our next layer. This is our window display layer, exhibiting all the fruits and veggies, the wheat, the breads, and we'll try to color these with all the attention to detail, the same attention to detail that we've been using everywhere else. And you may notice that I'm using the same color palette as I did on the other sheets. And I'm going to carry the same palette all the way through to the end. It's a fairly limited color palette, but I did choose a variety of colors from kind of across the spectrum. A few reds, a few blues, and a few greens to play up. And then, of course, all of my browns and my grays to just kind of ground everything. And we'll just kind of use these in a variety of ways. We're not going to put too many colors, in the same kind of manner that we did before. Again, just to further sell that idea of dimension as we look through here. So on one side, the wall is gray. On the next side, the wall is green. Just to, again, create a little bit of differentiation as we go through the slides, but again, with the same color palette. On to slide 3. This is the outside window, and here is the point at which I kind of wish that I had colored everything before I cut out the inside window pieces, just because, as you color, with these kind of more thin areas, you kind of have to be a little bit careful because sometimes your pencil, if you press too hard and, kind of snag it, it might crease a little bit. So in hindsight, might have been a better idea to color it first and then cut out the inside window portions, but you live and you learn. No big deal. Now, since my wood floor will very likely get covered up on that first slide, I'm going to do these vertical boards here at the bottom with the same wood texture because this will definitely be visible. And I really like the way that this wood texture and color plays against the rest of my color palette. And just to save myself some wrist strain and, some headache, I'm going to start to use some baby oil to blend out my colors. All right, on to the final slide. Here's the home stretch. And I'm going to keep this one very simple. I'm just going for a cobblestone type of appearance for this. So I'm going to color in all of my ovals a light gray. Then I'm going to color around those all over the background with a slightly darker gray. That's just going to be my base. And then to give some interest and some texture, I'm going to draw in some curlicues, squigglies, that is the official name for these, around all of them to simulate that cobblestone texture even further. Now I always have these ideas, and then after about 15 minutes of trying to make the same squiggles look random, I start to regret that decision, but it's all good, all worth it. Then just to drive home that dimension and keep these from looking too flat, I'll simply line the bottom of each oval in a dark French gray. All right, all 4 of my slides are done. Here they are, and now it's time to assemble. So let's go back and check the instructions. Okay, this says to fold the bottom slide, our base slide, along these lines here to recreate these triangle-shaped pop-ups like in the picture above here. Okay, sounds pretty simple. And I'm going to use my mini ruler again to ensure that my folds are nice and straight. Okay, now second step, the instructions say to cut slits across the perpendicular lines. And that's where our window slides will sit in, so pretty easy. And let's test these out. Now my only gripe about this, I'm a little bit disappointed. The slides are a little tipsy forward, like Elena was in our first diorama video, and it's a bit difficult to get them to stand up straight. So I kind of wish there was like another piece either on the sides or the top for our window slides to kind of sit into to true them up. But I'm sure that would kind of keep light from getting in. So a bit of a trade-off there, but I do wish they stood up a little bit straighter. All in all, this is incredibly cute, and I think it might be my favorite one so far. I love how you can peek in from different angles and the background changes around you. It's so adorable. And that will finish us up for the day, folks. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope that you try your hand at this diorama and let me know down in the comments how it turns out. Now, if you'd like to watch more PencilStash, check out the rest of my channel for more great tutorials. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye!